Hi guys, so I decided to do a review on Dylan the Dragon and Playground Ride. I found this book from an online source called Mikey Pen. They have like a variety of books that are super cool. There's a bit of diversity in them, and I think most of the kids would probably like most of the books that I found there. I've shared the website with some of my parents and they seem to really like it. So I chose this book because I think it's really great. Like, the illustrations are really eye-catching. There's a lot of images that the kids, I think, would really take a liking to. My students really like dragons and dinosaurs, so I definitely know that they would like this book. And I like how the word dragon is in big letters, to sort of like give them an idea that this is the word for the illustrated dragon. So I think the more they start seeing the different words, they'll sort of start linking them to the specific pictures that they go with. Especially because they use the same color for the dragon text as the dragon itself. That kind of really helps. Just by looking at some of the images, like just specifically maybe the first image, I could basically just like show it to my students and then ask them what they see and what they think the story is about, just to sort of get them to use their critical thinking skills. They could just analyze some of the images and just look at the specific body language and some of the illustrations and give me an idea of what they think is happening in the story. In that way, they get to sort of like learn how to tell their own story using just pictures, because sometimes you do get books that have no text whatsoever and they just rely on the students to sort of like create a story within a story for themselves. So that would be a great way to get them to start thinking along that lane before I start reading such books that have no text. Also, another thing that I liked about the book is that it sort of had sections where there's some of the kids are speaking, Dylan's mom is speaking and he's speaking. So that gives me an opportunity to sort of like use different voices when I'm reading the book. I feel like my kids really like that. It helps grab their attention again, because then it's not too monotonous. Like, there's different intonations, different voices. It makes the book even more exciting. Yeah, and I feel like most of the text goes with the different illustrations, but I noted in some instances that maybe the author might have gotten the text mixed up with the pictures, because just for instance, look at this one. He flew home with his head hung low to see what Mummy Dragon had made for tea. But in this illustration, he's not really flying home. He's actually just sitting on the chair. And then look at this one. Dylan sighed sadly. All he wanted was some friends to play with, but clearly humans are very scared of dragons. So I feel like maybe this text should have gone with this one, because this is where he's sighing and he's sitting by the window, just, reminiscing on what happened during the day. So I feel like maybe this text should have gone with this illustration. Maybe that was a bit of a mistake from the author's side. But overall, I think this book is really, really awesome. I know my kids are going to love it, and I really, really like it too. It sort of also has like a good lesson behind it, where as like the kids, it just sort of gives kids an idea to always give friendship a chance, even if somebody looks a bit different from your usual person. Just give them a chance to sort of like show that they're a good person, because the dragon has to sort of convince the kids at the end that he simply just wants to play with them and he doesn't mean any harm. So the kids eventually realize that, oh, he's actually a nice person, even if he's different from he doesn't look like us. We can still play with him, and he's a good dragon, So that's like a good lesson that I think I like from it, because it sort of also touches on like the diversity aspect, that just because somebody's different doesn't mean that they'll cause you harm or anything. You need to always give friendship or relationship a chance. Another book that I took a look at, I found it on twinkle.com. This is also a really cool website where you can find some really great resources and some books as well, some PPTs. I also liked this book, especially because our theme is all about transportation at the moment. So this is about like two kids who decide to take a trip. So I like this book, but one thing that I don't like about it is that it has so many words, like too many words. I think I teach really young kids, it would be great to just sort of just have a few words on the different pages. So this is another book that I sort of was looking at. I like the front cover, because you have all these animals that also look very different. So that alone sort of like touches on the diversity aspect, that all of them are different, but they're friends and they seem to be sort of getting along. But also, like, when the kids look at the animals' faces, like some of them are sweating, they all look a little confused, they look a bit hesitant, like, so it's just a great way to just sort of show them the front page and then get them to talk and ask them, so what do you think is happening in this book? What can you tell from like their faces? And then the kids can sort of like sort of share ideas. They look a bit scared. Maybe there's an animal coming, like just for them to sort of use their critical thinking skills and sort of like set out what they think is going to be happening in the book.